What's up everyone? Coach Tony from Bonvex Strength, and today I'm going to talk about squatting with a band around your knees versus a band around your ankles to help you understand what your feet should be doing during a squat. So you see a lot of people put a band around their knees while squatting to help them understand what knees out should feel like. And while that certainly gives you the feeling of having your glutes help keep your knees out, the problem with that is that once you take the band away, the action of pushing your knees out into the band actually does more harm than good, in my opinion, while squatting as far as your technique goes. However, just moving the band down the chain and putting it around your ankles really teaches lifters how they should be putting force into the ground with their foot so that their squat actually does hold up once they take the band away. And I'm going to show you the difference between the two options here. So I've got a mini band, I'm going to put it around my knees, and with a band around your knees, it's really easy to feel tension in your outer hips by just pushing your knees out. However, we understand that knees out in a squat doesn't actually come from the knees. You don't actually want to bow your knees out, and it's kind of easy to just roll to the outsides of your feet to really push your knees out past the outside of your foot. But the thing is, lifters who tend to do this, often when they bow their knees out really hard, you're just gonna snap back into neutral when the weight gets heavy. So under light weights, you may be able to get to the bottom, keep those knees out and stand up. However, when things get really heavy, what you'll often see is lifters are gonna snap back in to neutral or perhaps even beyond, and that'll get you into a little bit of trouble. And the reason for that is because when we're putting tension into the ground while squatting, it doesn't wanna be side to side. It doesn't wanna be in what we call the frontal plane. It wants to be a more circular or a transverse plane action where we're pushing our feet into the floor and then we're corkscrewing our feet into the floor. So that's why I like the idea of screwing the feet into the floor more than spread the floor, because it should be a circular action, because what's actually happening is your hip is creating external rotation torque. So your hip can externally rotate like this, but when we plant our foot on the ground and twist it into the ground, our hip stays nice and snug in the socket, and it lets our hips and our knees and our ankles all work together because we're not overly relying on that side-to-side motion. And when we put a band around our ankles, I think it really hammers home that external rotation torque and screwing your feet into the ground more so than band around your knees. So by doing the same idea, but now instead of bowing out like this, I think about twisting into the ground and creating tension that way, and I'll get punished if I let go of that. I'm really gonna snap back in. So now I can do my squats and really focus on screwing my feet into the ground and creating tension against the band with my feet rather than my knees or my quads, and that's gonna hold up once you actually take the band off. Remember, any of these exercises that are supposed to help you with technique, they have to actually hold up once you take the teaching tool away. And what we found is that give lifters a band around their knees, as soon as you take it away, they fall back into the same bad patterns. However, put the band around the ankles really hammers home because it teaches them to use their feet to twist into the ground. So if you've been doing your squats with a band around your knees, try it around your ankles. I find that it's just gonna carry over a lot better to your heavier squats.